My name is Michelle, and these are my group members, Jojo and Sam. We are Group 1. Yes. And today we will be talking about convention planning. So let's begin.
Longer, please.
Okay. So this will be the outline for our presentation today. Yes, we will begin with warming up, and then follow up with vocabulary, scenario 1, discussion question, activity 1, and finally we will end with our job assignment, insight story, and comment time. Everyone okay? Cool? Ready? Okay. Let's start with the warming up session. Now you may ask, what is a convention? We've heard this word many times, but I'm pretty sure not all of us know the meaning of it. There are two meanings for the word convention. The first one will be a way in which something is done usually. Okay? The synonym would be tradition or custom. And the adjective for convention would be conventional. I'm sure all of you have heard this word. But the next definition would be the main focus for our presentation would be a large meeting that is usually involving members of particular profession in a group to discuss common interest. And the synonym would be meeting, summit, gathering, or conference. Later on I'll tell you what is the difference between a convention and a conference. Everybody okay so far? Cool. Now these two pictures are the examples for a convention. The one above is a Democratic convention in the States in 2016. It is a political convention. And the one below will be a comic convention. Okay? And I'll tell you what is a Comic-Con after this. Now, what is a convention for? Various types of convention has different purposes and different functions. For this presentation, I'll be talking about 4 different types of convention. First of all will be trade conventions. Second of all, professional conventions. Third, fan conventions. Lastly, science fiction convention. Okay? So, as you can see, all these conventions are divided into 3 different categories: industry, fandom, and lastly profession. Now let's get started with trade convention. What is a trade convention? Trade convention is an exhibition in which companies or industries come to a specific exhibition to showcase their latest products, to meet with industry partners or rivals. Thirdly, to study the activities of their competitors, and then examine the recent markets and opportunities opening up in the marketing right now. For example, as you can see above, Computex Taipei last year is a convention for information technology and computers. So manufacturers like Asus, Acer, Apple, or any computing technology out there will gather together and to see what are their products about. And the one below is a motor show in Bologna in 2017. So all cars manufactured from BMW, Toyota, or Ferrari will get together and to showcase their different products, different engines, and different functions of their car.
Where is it?
Bologna.
In which country?
In Italy.
Okay.
Now, next, professional convention. Professional convention mainly focuses on the issues concerning the profession or the advancement that is going to be made in the profession itself. And these kind of conventions are basically organized by members of a communities that want to promote the topic that they're talking about. For example, this is a good example for professional convention. It's a school nurse convention held in the United States. So basically, school nurses all over the states will gather together and talk about the health-related issues that's happening in school or what may happen in the future, like AIDS or drug problems. They'll all talk about it during this convention. Okay? Next one, fan convention. I'm sure most of us know what is a fan convention. Fan convention usually features the displays or shows that is based on pop culture or guest celebrities. A good example would be RuPaul's Drag Con. Okay, anybody know what is a drag queen? No, a drag queen means a male dress up as a female and show their alter ego. For example, this is a guy. He's a guy. And this is his alter ego called RuPaul's. He will sing, he will dance, he will model, he will do all sorts of entertaining stuff for you guys. Okay? Next one will be Comic-Con. Everybody know Comic-Con, right? Comic-Con, like the name suggests, involves a lot of comics all over the world, like Marvel, DC, or animations all around the world. People will gather together, talk about comics. Lastly, sci-fi convention. Sci-fi is science fiction, like I mentioned before earlier. Sci-fi is different from fan fiction because sci-fi primarily focus on the literature itself, but sometimes it may extend to the movies or televisions or even games that's involving in that certain theme. Now that we all know what are the different conventions, now let's get back to the question, what is a convention for? So conventions are mainly for sharing common interests and discovering new ideas. Okay, that's convention. Now I shall discuss with you what is the difference between convention and conference, because these two words get mixed up easily. Now, a convention is a gathering to commemorate an event or a common interest or a milestone. It targets a very specific group. Like I mentioned above, trade conventions for industries, Comic-Con for fans, something like that. And in a convention, it discovers matters that's related to the theme of the convention. So far, so good? Okay. Now, conference, on the other hand, is a seminar. Is to exhibit a certain knowledge of a certain subject. So in a seminar, you are more likely to sit down, write notes, and pay attention to the talker. But in a convention, you're more likely to have fun and experience hands-on, like the costumes or whatever. Okay? So those are the main differences between a convention and a conference. Now I shall give the floor to Jojo. She will talk to you about the vocabulary section.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now I'm going to talk about the vocabulary, and I will go through all the vocabulary, explain to you. Later, we will review all the vocabulary together. So the first one will be retailer. Retailer means a person or a business that sells goods in a relatively small quantity for use or consumption rather than resell. For example, we can say, this company is Europe's biggest retailers, or IKEA is the biggest furniture retailer in the world. Next will be proposal. Proposal means a formal written plan put forward for consideration by others. Like the government is giving a set of proposals to a major high-speed rail link. Next is productive. Productive means you are able to produce large amounts of goods or results. Like, they are the most productive employees in our company. It means they come up with the most ideas or projects in our company. Next will be sigh. Sigh means a long, deep exhalations to expressing sadness, relief, or tiredness, like this. Like, she let out a long sigh of relief. Next will be writer's block. Writer's block means the condition of not knowing what to write or how to proceed with writing. For example, if you are a writer, you don't know what to write, then you are suffering from a writer's block. Maybe you are out of inspirations of some ideas. Next will be loosen up. It means to warm in preparations for an activity or make to become relaxed. We can say, they tell me to have fun at work and loosen up. It means you don't have to be too serious at work. You can have some fun and relax yourself. Or we can say, the beer is loosening up. The man used beer to loosen him up, so he will get relaxed. The next will be step up and step out. Step out means work to another place, like you can step out to the classroom. As for step up, it means get to a higher level or increase your speed. The next one is bring forward. We can say bring forward is come up with something. For example, she is always the one who brings forward great ideas. In other words, we can say she's the one who always comes up with the great ideas. Next is concrete. In the scenario 1, the concrete means adjective. It means specific or definite. Like, I haven't got any concrete proof. As for this word in a noun, it means the material to build the wall. Next will be viable. Viable means it's capable to work successfully. Like, the proposed investment was economically viable. It's the proposed investment was economically viable. It means this investment is working. It will work successfully. Next one is expertise. Like expert skills or knowledge in a particular field. If you are going to be an engineer, a higher level of expertise is required. So if you are going to be a teacher, you need to have some expertise in teaching. Next is give somebody a ring. Give somebody a ring doesn't mean to propose to someone or marry to someone. It means you call someone or give a buzz. For example, like when I'm going to call my mom, I can say I'm going to give my mom a ring, but it doesn't mean I'm going to buy a diamond ring for my mom. And this will be the end of the vocabulary. Let's review all the vocabulary together. I'll read the vocabulary first, then I want you to repeat after me. The first one is retailer. Proposal. Productive. Sign. Writer's block.
Could you repeat the word again?
Sign.
Sign. Not sign.
Sign.
Sign. There's no nasal sound to this one.
Sign.
Sign.
Sign. Sign. Writer's block. Loosen up. Step out. Step up. Bring forward. Concrete. Viable. Expertise. Give somebody a ring. I believe you have no more understanding about the vocabulary that will show in the scenario 1. Next, Sam and I will go through the scenario 1 for you.
Hello, Jojo.
Hello. What have you been up to?
Helen would like me to organize an international retailer convention. So in the past few weeks, I have been trying to collect relevant information on the internet in order to put my proposal together. It's been 3 weeks, but there's not much that's been done. I'm afraid that I may not be able to get the proposal finished in time. Maybe I'm just not productive enough.
Cheer up. We all get stuck and run out of ideas sometimes. It's just like a writer suffering from writer's block. Maybe you've been under too much pressure. You need to loosen up a bit. Try some relaxation exercise, or just step out of your office and get some fresh air to refresh yourself.
I have tried all the things you have just mentioned, but I still haven't got a clue where to start. I am in desperate need of professional assistance. Would you like to give me a hand?
I'd love to if I'm any good.
Of course, you are good. You have always been the one who brings forward creative ideas for our team and knows how to get those ideas transformed into more concrete ones.
Thank you for your compliment. Well, I might have plenty of ideas, but I'm not sure how many of them are truly useful or viable. Have you asked Jenny for help yet? She has more than 10 years of experience in organizing international conventions. I think she's the one who can help you put your misery behind you.
You are right. I almost forgot Jenny's expertise lies in convention and event planning. What a magnificent idea. You are a genius. I should give Jenny a ring right now.
Maybe you should. I'm sure she'll come to your rescue. Good luck.
Thanks a lot. Oh my god, it's almost 10 o'clock. I have a meeting with Ellen at 10. I have got to dash. See you later.
See you. After we demonstrate a conversation, I believe you all know when you encounter some difficulties, you need to find someone who is good at what you need to know and ask for their suggestions. Later, we will talk about the activity first. In the activity parts, we will talk about when you are going to organize a convention, what should you pay attention to and how to make a good convention. And I'm going to give the floor to Sing.
Before we prepare a convention, we should know the precaution of organizing a convention first. There are 4 points. First of all, you should know the main focus of your convention so that you can decide what kind of speakers, sponsors, and vendors you want to invite. Second, you should estimate the number of people who will come to convention. After estimate the number of attendees, you should book the venue. It means that you find a location that suits your estimated group size, and with clean, well appointed facilities and the good food service to your group.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
The last one is organize the key player. It means that you should invite the proper speakers, vendors, or sponsors based on the content of your convention. Knowing the precaution of organizing a convention, I'm going to talk about the features of a grand convention. First, the speakers are important because they can attract the attendees' attention to your convention. Second, the focus of the content. It means that you should know what topic of convention you want to hold. And third, you also have to pay attention to the small details such as the general layout of each room and the layout and the budget you hold a convention. Furthermore, the vendors and sponsors is important because they can help you attract the attendees' attention and make people be interested in your convention. Next one is food, because after long walking, people must be hungry. So at that time, food is important. So your food stand must be easily found. Next, me and Michelle will give you a short conversation. Hello, Michelle.
Hello, Sam. What's going on?
I want to organize an international convention, but I have no idea how to do. Would you like to help me?
Okay, it's my pleasure to help you. First of all, you should decide the topic of convention and the target participants so that you can prepare the convention more easily. Besides, you must organize the key player to ensure the quality of the convention.
Except for the above you mentioned, I want to know features of convention. I would like to organize a successful convention.
There are 5 features that a successful convention must have. First, you should confirm the quality of speaker. Second, have a proper focus of the content. Third, you should pay attention to small details. This includes the budget to hold a convention and the general layout of each room. Fourth, good sponsors and vendors are also the main consideration. Last but not least, delicious food in convention can decide whether the convention is successful or not.
Thanks for your help. I think I can organize a successful convention with your advice.
You're welcome. Wish you all the best.
After the conversation, I believe you know how to or what we should pay attention to when we are going to organize a convention, and also how to make a great convention. Now we have prepared some Q&As for you to win some awards, and I believe you have noticed that we have marked some rewards during our activity parts and discussion questions. So I will need some volunteers to raise your hand. Like when we are going to organize a convention, what we should pay attention to? Does anyone know the first answer? Joe. Goal. Yes, you have to decide your goal.
How about the second one?
Does anyone know the answer? It's
The number of people.
yes, you have to estimate the number of the people. If you know the number of people, you will know how much that you should prepare, even the food or the microphone or the facility. As for the next one, does anyone know the answer? Ace.
Book the venue.
Yes, you have to book the venue. As for the next one, the last one of the precaution of organizing a convention, you should organize the
Key player.
yes, you should organize the key players. After knowing the precautions of organizing the convention, next we are going to learn how to make a great convention. If we are going to make conventions, there are 5 points that we should pay attention to. The first one is, does anyone know the answers?
The quality of the speaker.
Yes, we have to know the content. As for the second one, we have to focus of the content of our convention. And next one, does anyone know the answers? Yeah, we have to know the small details of a convention. And the last one, does anyone know the answer of the last one? Vendors and
Yes.
Sponsor.
yes, we have to take care of the vendors and sponsors. The last will be the food. It's not only to wake your audience, but also makes your convention successfully. So this will be the end of our presentation. Now I'm going to talk about our job assignment. Take charge to the vocabulary parts, scenario 1, and activity. And I will give the floor to Michelle.
Hello everyone, I'm Michelle. again. I'm in charge of the warming up session and I'm the actor in discussion question. I'll give the floor to Sam.
Hello everyone, I'm Sam. I'm in charge of scenario 1, discussion question and activity. I'm going to talk about the inside story.
You means spell the word inside into insight. So it should be
Inside.
Thank you.
Inside.
Inside will be a different word, and that will be a different story.
so. Before this semester starts, we have already planned our presentation at December 29th, 2017. So last year, that semester, we have. After we know our group member, we start to organize our presentation. And last week, we have finalized our which parts who is going to take charge to. At last week. And it's also last week, last Thursday, we have the final rehearsal at that time. So this will be the end of our inside story. Thank you for your attention. And now we are going to give group 3.
Whoever is present.
Yes.
Yes. To give
5
us
minutes to provide you the
Yes.
comment time.
Okay. Thank you.
哦对哦，我想把2忘记了，我想把2扔出去了。2才是哪我们出去。
好。然后。
没有。
可以去那种吗 ？Which is still love me。没有开 YouTube。
宕机了。
他还可以用
是我专门在
真假的？你会？
放这些游戏。
你会？
他是第一次做的，
真假的？好帅哦！
那不是很
那你还会放？
techno。
成功不稳。
还有什么？
还可以那个很久了，
这系列。
现在比较流行的就是March.14。对啊。
好帅啊！楼上。
为什么不是这个？
我已经把它设为零色。
忘记了，也是 Toy Story 的。
哦，好，那我打 Toy Story。
他也是不是还在录？
我到了，I'm waiting。哪一个？
你看 Emily Song。